The Topiary Cat, Chapter 13. Strange Goings On. It was a shame he had to go to school, and his teachers noticed he was looking out of the window again. More than once he was shouted at to pay attention. Richard knew that his mummy wanted him to go to the grammar school, and she was sure he was bright enough, if only he would concentrate on his studies. But he found it hard to do so, especially just now when there were more exciting things going on. He couldn't wait for the bell to be rung so he could be free again. Rushing home, he paused at the grocer's shop to buy some sherbet dabs with his pocket money. The lady that owned the shop was as sweet as her confectionery, but also a bit of a gossip. She knew Richard quite well. In fact, they might be considered friends by others in the village. This wasn't entirely the case, they were more acquaintances, really. But she had a heart of gold and felt slightly sorry for the boy. Always on his own apart from the cat, and wandering about in a dream half the time. "Did you hear of the trouble up at the hall, Richard? All sorts of strange goings on, I've been told. They've even had the police round." "Well, I know they think there's been some burglars after the statues, Doris." No, not that. They set up a night watch because of that. A couple of the groundsmen took it in turns to patrol the gardens last night, and they've both gone missing. The police and your grandpa are out looking for them. Not only that, but the lake's turned to gold. Have you seen the local paper? Look!" Among today's newspapers on the counter, he could see a banner headline, "Huge Cat Spotted in the County." This rather amused Richard, because right there, next to the pile of papers, sat Doris's big white fluffy cat Snowball. Obviously she was not the cat mentioned in the article, but the thought that she might have been made him smile. In the newspaper was an indistinct black and white image, snatched by an amateur photographer from some distance away. Richard had seen similar images before. Such sightings occurred at regular intervals all over Britain, usually when there was little else for journalists to write about. However, this time he recognised a disturbingly familiar dark shape. Richard knew Doris was likely to be exaggerating events. She always did. He didn't think she could make up such an odd tale. Her imagination didn't run to such flights of fancy. A golden lake indeed. He didn't know what to do. Baba now had even more to contend with. His missing workers, a ruined garden, and important visitors only days away. Richard felt he shouldn't bother his grandpa. He desperately wanted to find out more, but how? He headed home, only to find Tolly waiting for him by the gate. The cat ran up to greet him, purring and rubbing against his legs. Inside the garden, Richard looked up at the Topiary Cat. "That's odd," he thought. "I'm sure the cat's head was pointing upwards when Baba trimmed it, and it now looks as if it's facing downwards. Has a bough broken or something?" He went through the arch and looked up inside the neck of the sculpted bush. No snapped branches or fallen twigs there. Just as he was about to disappear into the house, he thought he heard a voice, very soft like wind in the trees. He shook his head, dismissing it as his imagination. But no, there it was again. He stopped and listened intently. "Richard, I need to talk to you." The lad had no idea where this voice was coming from and looked around for someone who might have spoken. He looked down at Tolly, who seemed unperturbed. There it was again, more insistently this time. "Richard, I need to talk to you. I'm over here." Richard wheeled around, for now he knew the direction the sound was coming from, though it was hard to believe. It was coming from the Topiary Cat. Don't miss the next chapter of The Topiary Cat, read by Richard Saunders.